Karina here on Friday, October the 27th with a controversial add-on. So yesterday morning, if you were perusing the Firefox add-ons, you may have been quite intrigued by the feature that was given pride of place, ad block. It's great. It blocks not just pop-ups, but with some training on your part, it'll block nearly everything. All those ads that slow down your surfing. How fantastic. Unless you have to make a living by ads, in which case you hate it and would then be rather upset with Firefox, which is probably why by the end of the day they had wisely de-emphasized it. Now, the Google YouTube purchase is old news, but we've been wondering, as I'm sure you have too, what will the purchase do to the site? What will make YouTube into GooTube? Apparently, it's font color. The first site changes have appeared, and paramount among them, color coding of the video, channels, and groups pages. And they moved the social filters around and added a footer and some more advanced stats, but hey, the channels page is green. It'll never be the same. In other updating news, Apple, much to their users' delight and after a pretty long wait, has spiffed up their .Mac email with a new user interface which mimics their desktop mail app, with dragging and dropping of files among other improvements to create quite an elegant new version. The jury's still out on whether it's completely worth $100 a year, but at least now it's more worth it, right? Back to Google now for a second. In the run-up to the elections in the US in November, a group called Direct Democracy are staging a Google bombing attack on Republican candidates. They're manipulating Google's ranking system by, for example, cross-linking unfavorable articles and websites and forcing news to the top of the search results that highlight negative aspects of the candidates. Of course, this isn't the first time Google has been politically bombed. Just go Google the phrase miserable failure and you'll see the most famous example. To gaming news, if you're a World of Warcraft freak, and apparently there are 6 million of you out there, get set for a little disappointment. They've pushed back the date for the new improved version until January. The Burning Crusade expansion was to come out, well, any day now, with new races, territories, and characters. But they still need to refine it, so you'll have to wait till the new year to find even more reasons to neglect all the rest of your life for an online game. Speaking of gaming obsessions, Tetris. So simple, so pure, surely one of the great early video games of all time. So much so that the BBC has done a little history of Tetris. An hour long, the documentary is up on Google Video and covers the game's inventor, Alexei Pajitnov, and some general gaming history. You know, one of the most satisfying parts of our work here is finding ways for you to waste time at yours. And finally, a little note about an upcoming event. The Le Web 3 conference is coming up on the 11th and 12th of December in Paris. It's being hosted by 6 Apart, the movable type, typepad, and Vox people. And it's all about the future of the web, and Anil will be participating in the discussion of the death of TV and radio, and no doubt gathering lovely, interesting tidbits for us all to enjoy. That's all for today, but here's a bit from the history of Tetris.
When the very first program version start to breathe, that moment I realize I have something really good.
A game is a beautiful thing.
I hadn't met a person who touched that game and didn't get hooked on it. The pieces look so simple, but then the game actually is so deep.
But it can be dangerous.
It was a very heroic experience. I must assume that this was a deliberate attempt to frighten me.
Мне стало страшно. Но это как, знаете, попытаться танк руками остановить. Я понял, что включили уже, бездушную машину.
This is the story of 4 characters, 2 systems, and the one game that brought them together and set them apart.